name is Mitchell Young and I'm a media producer. For the last several months, I've been working with artist Alexander Dakers, combining two brands, Truthis and Zander Productions. This is part 1 of 4 episodes.
I'm 38 years old, born in Scotland originally. My roots are from my mother's side from Chile, and because of what the events that happened in Chile, that's where we are today with my art and the political stand behind that, which is the events of Chile with 60,000 people died in 1973 with Augusto Pinochet dictatorship. And it affected my mother and my grandfather, who was sentenced to prison for 30 years for being involved in politics, and released in 3 years because of Amnesty International.
So you're saying your dad inspired you quite heavily?
Yes.
Should we have a little talk about him? How his roots and that?
Yeah, well, at the beginning he always wanted paper and pencil to start from the very basics. Eyes, nose, mouth, people's faces. He always taught me techniques that were different from what the book teaches you. The book teaches you like not to mix acrylic paint with oil, etc. And that's an artist thing. But I disagree with that because that actually works in a lot of my work. There are ways of doing it, there are ways of changing things how you want to do it. My dad taught me all that, like cross-hatching, shading, stencil work, a lot of different techniques, and he developed me as I went further down the line, and then eventually even now he says now that I'm a better artist than he is, which is really nice to hear from your father, who's the real creator of yourself. Yeah, well, 2014, that was my first time at the BIC, and we did it for Dorset Blind. So I had a massive tent in there with everyone blindfolded to experience how it was to be blind and to feel the art. So it was all in clay, etc. With the Grail, the language, so you could communicate to understand what it meant. Then from there I got the recent show at the BIC again because they invited me back, and that's where we are with that one.
Hey man, good?
This is my poem detailer.
So this is your place, Alex?
Yeah,
This is where the dreams are made?
Yeah, dreams are made. That's the balcony I work in.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's it.
In the summer that must be, right?
Fun games now.
Yeah, it's got the necessities.
Yeah. I didn't check my message. It's dressed properly.
Oop. Hey there, you alright?
This is my message.
Just ignore the camera.
This is Mitch, Basha.
Hi.
Oh.
Nice
to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
This was at the BIC, and there's a lot of people interested in this one. And actually, the lady bought one of these in Italy. This is the original, because they bought the copy version from that.
That's really cool. That's neat, man.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's dark, isn't it? It's like, this is all heavy clay, and there's a lot of detail in the back, and a hell of a lot of detail. If you look closely, it's like a story to the characters as well.
Alex was telling me that you like to critically analyse his work.
I don't like it, I hate it. Because it's very hard when I'm back from work after 7-6 hours, and I know that he's been working for such a long time for one painting, and then I'm coming to home and see the painting, which is very nice, but something which I don't like it, I will tell him.
Basha told me, at the beginning I had this 100 miles an hour like traffic, there was no bus here, it was just lights, and the effect didn't work too correct, so Basha told me to change it, so I changed it to this bus and moved that like it's the pace of the bus eventually coming out, which is, you can see quite closely because that's quite sharp, and that's because of Basha.
That's pretty cool.
girlfriend's Polish, so obviously the events in Auschwitz, which lots of Polish Jews were assassinated. So I did this one with all the people that died inside the concentration camp, in the gas chambers. So this is another one that my missus was quite emotional about, because in Poland it's a big thing. Obviously it's a big thing that happened, and I've actually been to Auschwitz, so I actually saw the concentration camp.
How was that?
I wouldn't advise you, if you like history, I would advise you to see it, but it's very depressing. It's like you're surrounded by death. You see the women's headquarters, which there's probably about 100 of them in a room as big as this, which is ridiculous. And you're standing against the wall. That's what they were telling in the documentary that we were going through. And the people died for nothing. And everyone knows the story about it. So I did it like an example. The rims, this exact size of the canvas is the wall. So imagine that's the ceiling, that's the floor, and that's the wall. And that's the wall that they walked into. So they're sealed inside this little block. Make sure I've got the right stuff. Alright, so blue pizza. Okay, so we're going to start. Standard canvas sheet. I think it's 20 by 19. This, which is not going to start with the actual figure, just the backdrop of the Jimi Hendrix background. I was going to do it black and dark and similar to the kind of effect that you have on that one, which it changes effect when you move around. And then the idea would be to have Jimi Hendrix face and some lines that go here to make him like a star that he really is. Let me see if I got Jimi Hendrix in my cabinet. Wait a minute. So we're going to do Jimi Hendrix. I have the Jimi Hendrix photograph to work from. Okay, so this will be probably the second part of the video because I won't get that done today. The backdrop is to be black, they want it dark, and eventually putting some mad effects like you have with Jimi Hendrix in there, which we'll do probably in video part 2. So I'm going to work on the backdrop before that. This part will be your final detail, so this will be the kind of final product you'll see when I get to that stage. At the moment we're not going to be anywhere near that, but that's just to show you now because that is the final thing. Alright, so let's see if I can find paintbrushes. Okay, so I'm going to use acrylic paint. I've got my paint palette here. So, there's a lot of people that will say that acrylic paint and oil doesn't work. I disagree. Acrylic paint and oil can work if you do it correctly. You usually always do the acrylic paint at the beginning. So we're going to just get this all black quickly. Okay, so we'll try and get this whole thing done probably in about 30 minutes because my colleague needs to go. Normally I'll just sketch quickly an example where this is going to start. So this is very simple, like the head of Jimi Hendrix. Just lightly scratching into the canvas. Doesn't need to be amazing, it just needs to be where exactly your figure is going to go when we get to the next stage. And that's that. Alright, so we're basically going to, you have to be careful because the paint's going to go away in a minute. So we will probably start with the red. So just red acrylic paint again, acrylic. and you just square it on it. Wait a minute. That thing. That's how you get one effect. And this will be the background. Make sure it goes everywhere. Obviously there's no point of putting it anywhere near here because that's where your actual figure is going to be. And then again, you need to clean the brush. You do the same. So we'll try and work on that, hopefully complete it in about 2-3 days and then sell it for £1,000.